Yo, everybody, it's Holy Joe Rock and Roll. I'm at the factory outlet here in the suburbs of Krakow. I mean, it's just right outside, so I probably a few miles, I don't know, a few kilometers outside the city limits. Anyhow, I want to tell you a story. Was it 2 days ago? I guess it was 2 days ago. I almost got arrested for a minor traffic violation here in Krakow. Now, what happened was, and now that I understand why I was pulled over, was as I was leaving KFC, getting ready to, I would have to, in this area here, okay, close to the Rondo, I think it's Rondo Catina. I did a story on that one, that Rondo. But as I was, there's a KFC nearby, and then if you want to go the other direction after leaving KFC, you have to make a U-turn through the IKEA parking lot, or right before the IKEA parking lot if you're lucky. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. The point is, when you leave KFC and get onto the highway, there is a solid white line before you can go all the way left to make the left turn into IKEA or IKEA parking lot, okay? So because there was a huge bus in front of me, I made the turn across the solid line, and there was a black BMW behind me which beeped at me, and I didn't flip him off. I just raised my hand like, dude, chill, right? And the next thing you know, whoop, 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 the lights went on. Like, oh shit, it was an unmarked Polish police car, okay? So, actually, that didn't happen that fast. What happened was I raised my hand like, dude, chill. And then I made a left-hand turn to the left lane. And then this car followed me into the extreme left lane, which is where you make the left turn. And that's when it turned on the lights, okay? Because at first I'm thinking, look at this asshole. He beeped his horn at me and he's going to the left lane anyway, right? But it was the police. That's where they did the boop, boop, boop. So I stopped the car right there in the left lane. And they got out and said, move your car in English to Castorama. And I'm like, Castorama is on the other side of IKEA, okay? I said, IKEA? And they said, Castorama, right? Insisting on Castorama, which is on the other side of, when you turn the left, you're going to be right in the IKEA parking lot, right? It would make sense to just park there. But he kept saying, he insisted on Castorama. So I made the left-hand turn. Just when I made the left-hand turn, the light turned red for those guys, for the cops. So I'm half thinking, I'm just gonna take off, man. What are they gonna give me a ticket for? What? For what? I don't even know why I've been stopped. So I went through, and now it's not so easy to get to Castorama. You got to do this whole gauntlet thing, going straight and then left and then almost like a U-turn, going right to get to the Castorama. Anyway, I go to the Castorama parking lot, and actually, I'm saying, where am I going to park here? It was hot. It was really hot, and I had three of my kids in the car, so I parked next to one of these shopping cart storage areas, which was blocking the sun. Okay, and it wasn't right when you got to the Castorama. It was further. It was like towards the back, and I'm just sitting there hoping and praying that these cops just leave me alone, right? But no, all of a sudden, whoop, 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 whoop. They come into the Castorama parking lot, and they drive up next to me, and then the cop that spoke English, he says, why did you park over here? And I said, you told me to come to Castorama. But why did you park here? And I'm like, because it's in the shade, because of this, it's hot over here. And he's like, you're lying. Oh my God, I was like, oh shit, man. What the hell? So then they're like, I said, why am I being stopped? What is the problem? So he's like, give me your documents. Okay. So I give him my driver's license and my residency card. And in Poland, if I'm driving on an American driver's license, you have to have your international driver's license, which I do have. But I had left it at home because it was in the jacket pocket. You know, the last time I remember taking it with me, I took it and I put it in my jacket pocket because it's a pain in the ass to carry this, bigger than a passport size booklet, which is the international driver's license, okay? So I gave him my documents, and the guy says, now he's being a real dick. He was like, you have to have your international driver's license. Where is it? And I said, I have it, and I showed him a picture on my phone, because I documented for this exact same reason. In case I didn't have it, at least I'd have a photograph of it and it's, you know, a high resolution photograph, right? So I showed them the photograph, and they took my phone and they showed it to the boss. And actually, the reason why they were really pestering me is because I think maybe a sergeant or the boss was in the car. It was 2 officers and 1 dressed in uniform and 1 plainclothes guy, all of them in this unmarked car, okay, a BMW. So I think if the boss wasn't in the car, probably they would have just, who knows, they probably would have just let me go, right? But because the boss was there, they had to give me a ticket. So it's like, so this is the funny part, and this is where I almost got my ass arrested. And I guess, look, I was starving, and I was just had 2 bites out of my Twister, which is like a KFC burrito, okay? I had just had 2 bites out of it, and my kids were hungry. Luckily, they were in the car. I said, don't say anything, just be quiet, eat your food. So I'd only taken 2 bites, and when I'm hungry, I'm a little bit angry, like most people are. I'm just give me my freaking food, right? I'm just irritated, like, dude, let me just eat. Why are you stopping me, right? So the guy's like, calm down, calm down. Like, I'm calm, man, I'm calm. So it's 100 zlotys. And I said, look, I have 80 zlotys in my wallet, which was true. I only had 80. I showed him, can I pay 80? He's like, it's 100 zlotys. I said, okay, is there a bankomat? I can go to the bankomat. No, you have MasterCard, you have credit card. I said, yeah, you can use your credit card, he said. So this is the smart ass thing that I said, can I use BLIK? Can I use BLIK? And he's like, no, you cannot use BLIK. I said, because I could win 100,000 zlotys if I use BLIK. For those who don't know BLIK, BLIK is an electronic alternative to MasterCard, you know, and Visa. Essentially, it uses the same system. It rides on the same infrastructure, but it is so kick-ass. And fuck Bitcoin, by the way, because if you want a low, I know this is not an ad for BLIK, I don't even know what the fees are, but apparently the fees are less if you use BLIK for the merchant. So what it is if you have a smartphone with the bank account on it, basically you would initiate a transaction with the vendor, right? It asks you for your BLIK code, which every like 30 seconds or every minute, your bank account will generate a new BLIK code. You put in the BLIK code, and then somehow a signal comes to your bank app on your phone, and it asks you to verify that you're making this transaction. So then you have to put in your PIN code for your app, okay? Because the apps are all secured now with PIN codes and whatnot, or your fingerprint, whatever. But actually, you need to put in the PIN code. When you do that, that concludes the transaction, and now you electronically transferred funds as if you used a MasterCard or Visa or even a contactless or whatever, contactless payment. So I was joking, and then my son started laughing. My oldest son, who understood what BLIK was, he started laughing. I looked back and said, shut up, just shut up, right? The hell, I don't want to get freaking arrested, right? What are you going to do, right? So then, of course, without the international driver's license in Poland, I mean, the last time this came up, I was threatened with a 500 zloty fine, okay? But I was able to get away with it because of some other documentation I had. But ever since then, I've always gotten the international driver's license. Now it costs $20. It's good for 1 year. And the only legal way to get it is through AAA. So AAA, I get AAA.org. Just Google it, international driver's license, AAA, if you're an American and you want to come to Poland. Now, some European countries like Italy don't require the international driver's license, but Poland does, okay? I'm just letting you guys know it. Again, get that driver's license. Take about 30 days to get it, so plan in advance. But you can specify that it would start like a maximum of 30 days in the future, so you can, let it last longer. Anyhow, so I called my wife, and I knew that she had just fallen asleep with our daughter, who's about a 1-year-old daughter, when we left to go to KFC. So I'm calling her. She's not answering the phone. I'm calling her. I'm trying to FaceTime her, trying to wake her ass up, and she's not answering 3 times. And the guy's like, and I tried to tell him, look, I know my wife was sleeping when we left. I don't care what your wife is doing. She has to come here, bring your international driver's license, right? And I'm like, listen, I'm just like, we're like 5-6 kilometers away. Can we just go there? And he's like, no, right? So finally, after all this kertuffle, then the guy, the cop comes back to me, and he says, oh, I had to do the blow. I had to blow the alcohol thing. They also do that. Any kind of police stop, you're going to have to blow. They check you for alcohol content. You got to blow on this thing. I mean, there's no reason to refuse, especially if you've not been drinking. All I had was KFC, all right? Freaking 2 bites and some iced tea. So I know I'm, you know, blowing a zero. So I'm blowing the thing. He's like, okay. And then he comes back and he says, my boss says it's okay. Your wife doesn't have to come. He believes you because I guess he saw the photo, whatever. And I had to pay the 100 zlotys. And now, and by the way, in Poland, there's generally, I mean, I think if you're a Polish citizen, it is possible that they will just charge you, and they know that you're working in Poland. They can charge you, and then when you get a tax refund, they can deduct it from your taxes, your tax refund. That is possible. I've had that happen to me on one occasion when, you know, on one occasion, and where they didn't, you know, they charged me, I think it was 100 zlotys, because I was speeding in some country road near Lublin. Like I think I was going 84 in a 65 zone or 60 zone, whatever. So they didn't charge me the money right then and there, but apparently it came out of my tax refund at the end of the year. So finally, I paid them with the credit card, you know, contactless, but I had to put in my code because it was over my limit, and they gave me the ticket, and off we go. So I did apologize to the police officer for being rude. I wasn't trying to be rude. It just, I was like, look, I'm really stressed out a little bit because, you know, it's black BMW, and usually, you know, if somebody's driving in a BMW, they're acting crazy when you beep the horn at me. You know, I thought you were one of those guys just kind of being crazy, and I'm sorry, you know, whatever. And it ended on a positive note. I didn't get arrested. I almost got, I mean, possibly, I mean, I guess if things got a little bit more heated and they really wanted to press the issue on the international driver's license, they probably would have, he was implementing or implying that they would have kicked me out of the car and possibly towed my car. And then somehow, I don't know, arrested me because I said, if I can't drive my car, I can just take a taxi home. And he was like, no, you cannot. So I don't know where that was going to go, but luckily it didn't get that far. And listen, I promised to tell you about how I was imprisoned momentarily or detained momentarily at the airport. I promised to do a report on that. Just give me some time. I'm really busy. I got a new project coming out, and I'll do that. But here, one final note is I'm at the factory outlet, okay, again. And the one thing about, let's see if I can turn this camera around. Look at all these parking spots that are full. I mean, there happens to be now. I mean, it's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock p.m. There's 3 spots here, and there's one over there. But if I pan, and I know we're gonna get some sun in the face, this whole parking lot is jam-packed, okay? There's the sun, I'm sorry about that. This parking lot is jam-packed. And then back here, there's a new construction, and there's another parking lot here. There's space here. So actually it's not as jammed as usual. Usually this place is totally full. And I don't know what they're building back there, possibly a new shopping center. It looks like a new shopping center or a new galleria or some kind of new, obviously, commercial real estate projects going up back there. But let me switch this camera around. But I mean, a lot of activity, a lot of people shopping, or at least a lot of people out and about, and it's June the 12th. Oh, happy birthday, bro. June the 12th, right? Is it the 12th? Yeah, June the 12th. And this place is jam-packed. And look, my initial reaction to this galleria, the factory, they advertised that every day 30 to 70% off on everything. Honestly, I think that's nonsense because I didn't see anything like that. Now, the one thing that I did buy in this galleria was Levi's jeans, okay? And honestly, they were the cheapest I've seen in Poland. They were Levi's, I think they're the original ones, the button-up fly. I don't know if there's a 501 or 505, but they were cheaper here than any other place I saw. There was a Levi's store in a mall in Lublin, and they were at least probably like 60 zlotys more, $20 more for the same jeans. But here, look, I don't know if it was just real quick. but they were made in Poland. I mean, I'm looking at the jeans, they're made in Poland. American Levi's jeans made in Poland. And they still were like 60 bucks, 70 bucks. I don't know how much they are in the US. I mean, this shows you how dated I am. The last time I bought Levi's in the US, I think they were $37 or $39 for a pair of Levi's. And those were like, I think they were 505. They had a zipper in the front. 505, like loose fit or whatever. Anyhow, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. If you're driving in Poland, make sure and you have a U.S. driver's license, just make sure you have the international driver's license. Just be polite to the cops. They're actually pretty cool guys, and I've never really had any problems with them. This was the closest I came to getting arrested for any kind of traffic thing. And I guess I just pissed off the cop because I was being a little bit rude with the whole BLIK thing. I was trying to be funny and also trying to be, I don't know, I guess trying to be ironic. I was being a smart ass, that's for sure. And I shouldn't have done that, but seriously, I could have won $100,000. $100,000 is lovely if my BLIK code somehow kicked off, right? Something so. Anyhow, this is Holy Joe Rock and Roll coming at you live and definitely unscripted, as you can tell, from the factory outlet. They also have a post office here, as most of these, this is one thing that's really cool about Poland. I don't know if you've done this in the US, but there's a post office in all of these galleries, in all of these malls. And they're open every day that the mall's open until 9 o'clock. You know, it's like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning until 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So I had a little package to send out, and I was able to just run over here and mail it out. So very convenient if you're close to a gallery. Happen for the captain, because you're the captain.